What's up? Back with another stream. So I'm going to be unboxing this tripod, trying it out. Just making sure everything is working before I get started. Looks good. All right. I think I need that. Looks like all the streams are working, I think. So the disclaimer for this, Sunpak contacted me and they wanted to send me a tripod. They didn't even tell me what. I was like, sure, for the most part. And here we are. So this is the tripod that they sent in. I know it looks like a still frame, but that is video. I'm going to go over there and unbox it. So we'll try this out, see how it is. I'll try to think of a few use cases. Obviously, if anyone has any specific things they want me to look at, I can do that. Because this is a live stream. So we should be good there. I'm going to head over to that and then we'll take a look. I do have some specifications and such that came with the tripod. Oops. There we go. It's recording. So the unique thing about, whoops, do one more thing. All right, I'll just start off by talking about the name and everything of it. Just make sure, actually my phone is in frame. I don't think I want that. There we go. Again, Sunpak sent me this tripod to take a look at. No money exchanged hands, although I will, again, with the disclaimer, say that I had offered them to do more with it, but that didn't happen. So anyways, so no money exchanged hands. They sent me this for free. That's kind of usually how things go with stuff like this. And at that point, I wasn't even sure what they were going to send, but they said a tripod, so here it is. So it's a Sunpak 61-inch aluminum pistol grip ball head, the Sunpak Ultra 6000 PG. And then there is some various specifications we can take a look at, but I might as well just open it. I've already quickly looked at it. Again, if you have any questions, this is a live stream. Hopefully I'll see your message. Maybe I'll put the phone down here so I can at least notice if someone chats. There we go. It's kind of in my field of view down there. Tripods can be a little bit awkward to do something with on stream, but we'll see. So this specific version doesn't come with anything extra. I have seen ones that include like a phone mount thing, but I don't see one in here, so it's not in here. I don't think there are some photos and things we can look at. So the pistol grip style connection has a crank for the center column. The leg sections are aluminum. And then we've got like a tightener for the bottom stabilizer thing. Oversized legs. Okay. And it has bubble levels. There's some more specifications on it we can look at later. It's not the way actually. Like most of this should be inside the manual. So there it is. Very exciting. Let's make sure the camera's focused. Again, this is the Sunpak Ultra 6000 PG. These are metal, but there is a lot of plastic pieces. And then that's that very unusual connector for the head. Let's see more specifications, it looks like. It says the pistol grip with auto locking action, simple to use with cameras and camcorders. Squeeze the trigger, frame, and release. It's that easy to get the perfect shot, according to them. Release and lock action allows you to accurately and perfectly frame. So let me check something real quick here. Let's make sure that my microphone is working. I don't have a display. Yeah, it looks like it's good. I don't have a display over here that would show me levels. Though I could. Let's see, where were we? Quickly release, the quick release plate with video indexing pin. Makes attaching the camera or camcorder fast and effortless. Rotating platform, great for following the action. So it says heavy duty chassis with bubble level, geared center column with folding crank. Then the 0.98-inch aluminum legs. Leg brace lock, extra large, flip lever. Sure. They say limited lifetime warranty. Whatever that means in practice, hard to say. So, maximum height, we've got 61 inches. Oh, with the center column extended. With it retracted, it's 48.5 inches. The minimum height is 24. What's that? Got some weight to it. It says 2.6 pounds for the tripod. Folded length, okay, the folded length is 25.5, and the 24 would be when it's actually extended. Zoom out here. There we go. And yeah, that's probably about it here. So self-leveling rubber feet on there. And then the quick release plate is 620-754. I don't know if there's any more information in here. So the leg diameter is 0.98 inches. Now it says load capacity of 11 pounds. So I did look up reviews on this after I got it. And I don't know, 11 pounds seems like too much, based on some of the reviews I had seen of people that had used it for a while. But we'll see. I don't have a ton of equipment that's super heavy, but I'll try to figure something out. There's that. I have to pull the camera back. You can kind of get a decentish view. Probably go back a little bit more. That's probably good enough. Nice. There it is. This is the non-extended. So down here, there's a lock. It looks like. Yeah, so when it's screwed down, this doesn't go back up. So I can put some pressure on it and it seems to lock. So it did. This thing is plastic. I saw that it popped when I tightened it too much. But there, it works just fine. And then this is metal. These bracer arms, those are metal. This is metal. This is metal. Obviously these are, I mean not obviously, but these are plastic. This thing, I think this entire circular thing is plastic. So where these metal pieces connect, there's some flakes, like metal flakes on my fingers. Where's my tape? I just do it. They're more like specks than flakes, but just in case you can see that. See the silver stuff on my finger. Anyways, make sure that's focused. Yeah. So there's that. There's a crank here. So this, depending on how tight this thing is, the crank will work or not work, or it'll have some resistance. I don't know if I'm going to have enough ability to. So it looks like I can move it when it's not tightened here. This is plastic. And then there is a ridge. I mean the, whatever that's called. The gearing mechanism. Some type of plastic or something. So that goes as far as that goes, and then you can tighten this down. Again, this is plastic. This feels, I think this is metal, the shaft. Trying to see if it's separate piece or not. There is some sort of, okay, this is metal as well, the gearing. I don't know where the little plastic flakes are coming from. Anyways, there's that. We zoom out. Yeah. Put some weight on it. It's holding. And loosen this, I can push it down manually. And of course you can tighten it like that as well. And then, there we go. And here's the pistol grip. Let's do a zoom in here. Yeah. There is a, okay, so this rotates depending on which direction you might want more adjustment. There's some screw connections down here. Make sure my camera is focused. And then you do get that ability to adjust this. You have to push the grip trigger. Then you can adjust it as needed. So long-term viability of this, who knows, right? This is plastic. This is plastic. It looks like on the inside there's a metal jacket. It looks like there could be a metal jacket of some sort on the inside. Might even be able to take it apart, but we'll see. Yeah, it does show it a little bit. It's as zoomed as I can get for the moment. It's like right in there. I think this is metal, the actual ball. So there is some metal components, but it's a mix. And then there's this adjustment dial here. So this is going to control the rotation of this top piece here. Let's make sure it's decently framed. There we go. Yeah. So when it's unlocked, you can rotate this piece. So actually I did take this off because this was the area that the reviews were concerned about, and it snapped. But we can look at that in detail. Anyways, once that's locked down, that's not gonna rotate anymore. And then you can do whatever you want with the pistol grip. And over here, so then I can loosen this and just slide it to the side. So I'm kind of curious why they bothered to make this rotate up here. It seems unnecessary, but I guess it could give you some panning abilities or something. Anyways, this is the quick release. It's spring loaded. And then you've got this thing here, which this is plastic, that's metal. This is spring loaded for camcorders or any sort of video accessory that has the side pin. I think the ZR from Nikon might have one of those. Some other mirrorless cameras might have the additional pin, but not a lot of cameras tend to have that, which is too bad because it's a nice little feature. I mean, that does move quite a bit, but it's spring loaded, which is kind of the point. So for cameras that don't have this pin, it just pushes down into the quick release. Yeah, and then this obviously in here, that's what you're going to use to hand tighten as needed. Looks okay. I don't know if this is any sort of specification, like replaceable. I would assume you could get replacements from them, but I don't know if it's... I do have some Arca style ones that I can quickly try here and see if it works with those. Let's take a look. Let's look for any sort of mount that I have. There we go. Let's have a camera cage. try this. Nope. That should be good. Obviously, none of this stuff comes with, so that's clearly not going to work. It's the same size, though. Looks like the same size. Oh, it's a little smaller. Here's a smaller one. That's still not going to go. Wait, is this metal? Okay, I think the base plate's metal, as far as I can tell. So this is plastic, but the base plate, this is plastic, the arm thing. Yeah, so plastic here, some sort of metal for this. Oh, I think, yeah, I don't think this is going to work. So you might be able to find some sort of alternatives. I do have this, whatever this is. I think it might be a, yeah, that clearly doesn't go. Let's try, here's a Ulanzi claw. Nope. It almost looks like it could fit in there, but oh. Okay, that's locked in. So there is a lock to this. That's interesting. But yeah, this doesn't go. Even though it does look somewhat. There we go. So I don't have anything that would fit in there, I don't think. I might have some other tripods with similar quick releases. Let me see here. Nope. I don't think I'd... let's try this real quick. I can't remember the name of this brand, but this is another cheap plastic thing. Okay, that's totally different. Yeah, that's not gonna work. So I'm not thrilled with the custom quick release. Come on. In my mind, most companies that don't have a very long, long running quick release system, which maybe Sunpak has their own thing and, they just go with it and whatever. But the Arca style ones, in my opinion, are generally the ticket. So that's what that looks like. So if I take this off, let me make sure it's focused. We could zoom in even more here. Adjust things a little bit. Again, this is a live stream, obviously, so if you have any questions or want me to look at something specific. So this is the reviews I had seen, this is the area of concern. The tripod. I did already remove it to take a look at it for myself. I need to get a specific tool here. It's a hex tool style connection. Obviously it doesn't come with one of these. See if this is too big. I think it's this one. Yeah. So I'm gonna take this off. So from my perspective here, it's nice that it's an actual metal screw, but there could have been some sort of manufacturing issue or something. It has lubricant on it. This is where 2 of the reviews had a failure point. So the screw thread or something stripped and broke. So there is some lubricant, like I said, on it. So I'm trying not to touch it too much. Let's see, do I have any? Let's use this McDonald's napkin. Anyways, that's that thing. And the question is this a standard, whoops, is this a standard size is the question. So I'm gonna shove a different screw in there and see if it goes. Whoops. What did I do with my other? Look for a good option here. Okay, this is clearly not a standard. Yeah, so this is a quarter, wait. Yeah, this is a quarter 20. This is the standard connection point for tripods. That is not the same thing. So to me, this is a bad idea to use this. It's a smaller screw, it's a smaller thread, smaller diameter. The threads themselves are smaller and more dense. So if you're going to put a lot of weight on it, I think that's a bad idea. Let me look in here. So this is where it connects. There's 2 pin-like things that go into it. Obviously there's lubricant. So I could kind of move that around. But so this thing goes in here. Yeah, I'm not thrilled with this whole idea, whole design. It doesn't look straight either for some reason. It feels like I have the threads in there properly. Whoops. And part of my problem now is that I've been removing this lubricant as I touch it. So I'll have to replace that at some point if I wanted to use this thing. So the problem here is that it's a custom size. So if you didn't want to use this for some reason, you're stuck with it unless you find a similar setup where this could clamp into it, which I could potentially have something that would work. Maybe something, that's too thick. See what I've got here in the bag of holding. Rather, container of holding. It'd have to be some sort of lamp style. Yeah, to me, they could have simply just had a normal connector, at least 1/4 20. Generally, for tripods, you want a 3/8 connection for that type of thing, because it really limits versatility. If you use some sort of smaller custom screw. So I don't think I have anything that would really make sense to... This might work. I'll try it. Let's see. So just a simple Arca Swiss style connector, top plate. It's like a quick release. Whether this makes sense or not, I don't know. It's just barely. I think it's too thick. So if you went to a hardware store and got a longer one of these, you could potentially attach something else to it if you wanted to. But I don't think I have anything that makes sense. And I don't personally have the ability to know or measure like what this is thread-wise and diameter. I do have a caliper, but whether the accuracy is good or not, that's up to debate. And just give you another view for a second. I do have my, let me see if this thing works. So we could do some stuff over here as well. Whoops. Well, did I walk over here? Oh, yeah, I was going to try to measure that. I don't know if I have batteries for this thing that work. We'll see. There is a battery. Whether it has a charge or not is a question. Zero. So what? I don't really know. Do you measure from the tip here to the... Whoops. Let's get this realigned. Sorry. It's very... Or it's staying in there, so I'd say that's probably about what the size is. So 4.82 millimeters for the thickness of that screw. And then who knows how big the threads are. So there's that. Put this thing away. I'll have to get more batteries for this. I think that was the Harbor Freight special for that thing. All right. All that said, at least understand what you're getting with this. I'm not thrilled with their choice of how that is set up. There we go. Just going to put that back in. We can use our, this is not included, so you'll have to get a hex tool if you want to do this of the proper size. I don't know what size this is. Whoops. I guess I could have measured the hex tool if it has any relation to anything, but see if I can get that in there properly. I probably should not tighten it too much here. There we go. And then this, okay, that still works. It has some resistance on the back when it's back here, but maybe I can tighten it a little bit more. Nah, I think that's good. So, interesting choice, design-wise. So at least know what you're getting if you're gonna buy this. Let's put this back for the moment. There we go. And then we've got our pistol grip, again with this ability to rotate that thing. There is a bubble level right here. That's convenient. There's also one on the tripod legs as well. And then I can zoom out here. Take a look at the actual legs here. I should probably get a zoom in. So there's that. This is a plastic. Pretty easy to clamp and unclamp. The thickness of the plastic, I don't know, you'd have to see over time how that holds up. Yeah. Zoom out here. Clamps in decently well. Very smooth. Then we've got the feet on here. Zoom in on these. So these do have some adjustment to them. I wonder if you can pull these off. Well, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, pretty easy to pull off. So this is some sort of rubberish material. And you're going to be stuck, if this breaks or you lose one, you'll be stuck with that. So that's not going to be super functional in that case, if you lose one of these. Yeah. So another design that I'm not thrilled about with this, because it feels soft enough that I don't know how this is going to hold up long term. I think this tripod is going to be mostly, I think it'll be fine indoors as some, like a, something you'd use indoors at a desk, like what I do here. I think it could be okay. There's a screw down here. So the shaft rotates. Then there's some sort of rubber I'm not sure what that's for. Feels like they gave me an incomplete tripod. I didn't see anything included here. Well, on the picture, that's what it looks like, though. Oh. Okay, this is just for... Okay, this thing hits that point, and it stays there. So again, this is something that if you lose this O-ring, let's see what happens. So this could overextend. So if you put a lot of force on this, when it's like this, it's probably going to snap these, is my guess. So, yeah. This looks like a standard tripod connection. I don't know if it comes off. So if you wanted to connect something down here, like a camera or whatever, I guess you could do that, or a sandbag or like a hook or something. So if you had a hook, I don't think it comes with one. At least I didn't get one. If you had a hook that attaches to a standard tripod connector, then you could attach a sandbag to it or some sort of weight. That's generally what that's used for. Yeah. Not really sure what this rotation is for. Okay, it might be the tightness of this. Like the general tightness of the legs. Yeah. All right, let's extend this thing all the way. See how tall we get. Well, I'm fully zoomed out. Sorry, I'm kind of limited on space here. I can take this to the other area in a second. That's as tall as it gets without the intersection. I could just verify that with a measurement. Pull this out of the way. see. Sure that's focused on something. So we'll see if they are true to their specification. So this says, I don't have a way to show it with the leg section not blocking. It says 49 right to the top of the quick release plate. Let's see. It says 61 is the maximum, but that's obviously with the intersection. So we'll just have to try that. So you have to loosen this centerpiece. It's out of the way. There we go. It's relatively tall. Let's see. Yeah. Slightly over 61 inches. And they measured it at 61, so it's a little, including the quick release plate, it's going to put the camera a bit over 61, according to my measuring tape. So, cool. Now we could put a camera on here. I don't know how I feel about this. Not sure what the purpose of that is really. Maybe to get more accurate adjustment, maybe. So here we've got the Nikon Z5 camera. This is 28 2.8. So you're going to take your quick release plate, put it on here. So actually, there's a pin back here. I think maybe I was kind of wrong about the pins. Usually, I think that's going to work just fine. It looks like the right position. So we can use this plate like this, and we're going to not have the, not easily as normal, have it shift around. So that's very nice. Just put this on here. If I can get it to screw in. There we go. Just make sure I'm focused. Still has, I don't know if there's still a lot of play in that, even though the pin should be in the camera. Yeah, the pin, okay, so the camera's hole is bigger than the pin. That's probably usually the case. But, so it doesn't really do a whole lot. Yeah. Anyways, let me adjust this a little bit. Be right about there. Again, this is the Z5 from Nikon, however you want to pronounce it. And you got your ball adjustment. We've got your side adjustment. This thing, which again, this is kind of one of the weak points of this tripod, is this top plate thing that you can rotate. And the screw inside there is metal, and also there's a metal connection point, but I don't think it goes the full length. And also the screw is smaller than a 1/4-20 tripod connection screw. So it is the weak link, as they say. Zoom out here. For this, I think this is fine. There is a bit of motion. I'm trying to see what's moving here. Let's see. I think it's a quick release plate connection point. Yeah, there's just some play in the where the quick release connects to this base plate. And also there's no sort of lock to this, because if it accidentally, it has a unlock. That's kind of cool, but there's no extra lock. So for example, let me pull one of these quick release plates I've got here. So the concern with that is this. I just try to get things arranged a little bit so I can zoom in more. So here's another style of quick release. See this thing here? And that's going to prevent this from fully opening. So if I unlock it and I put this plate in here, it goes like this. So you can see this is going to unlock. But if I click that down, then this doesn't come out. And the plate's not going to come off. So that's why you have an additional lock here. Obviously more expensive tripods and stuff are going to have that type of thing. This is all metal. I don't even know where I got this. I think I don't remember. But yeah, so you have something like this versus that setup, and this is not ideal, is what I'm saying. Whether it's ever going to happen or not, who knows? There is this rotated. Well, I can't really rotate it down. There is a metal screw in there, so that's good, at least. That's about as far as I can zoom. There we go. So there is that metal screw. It's just a standard type of screw, looks like. Anyways, yeah. Then you've got your bubble level, which is nice. There's one up here. Then there's one on the tripod itself, which is good. For my hands, this is a little tight. Make sure I'm focused. Yeah. A little tight for my specific hands, which are 6-foot-tall man hands. I mean, my hands are not 6 foot tall, but my rest of me is that big, approximately. I mean, I could measure my hands if that would be helpful. Frame of reference type thing. So, That's kind of what we're talking here. 7, 8 from the middle. Yeah. And then cross section thickness. I don't know. Anyways, so when I put my hands in there, it's a little tight. I mean, this comes out a far amount. It is cool. Has some convenience factor to it. And it's holding a decent-ish sized camera. Whoops. Let me try to get another view of this. There we go. Yeah. Make sure that's in there. Not sure how heavy this is, but let's put on a bigger lens, more heavy. This is metal, definitely heavier than the other lens. I'm somewhat limited on equipment though, so. I don't really like doing that, but you can see that this mechanism based on friction or compression, whatever it's doing, didn't hold from my pressing of the, like tapping on it. I mean, I hit pretty hard, so that's not smart. Obviously, you're going to put a lot of pressure on your mount and stuff, but if I just like push on it, yeah. So this is, I think 11 pounds that they measure is more so for the legs rather than this whole thing. So I wouldn't go by that. My guess is a few pounds maybe would be okay on this. Honestly, probably what I would use this for would be GoPro, phones. This is fine. I would not carry the camera on this. Like if you're gonna go and you're gonna take your camera and then walk around like this, don't do it, please. Don't do that. That is dangerous. Besides just generally being not a good idea, I wouldn't trust all of this to do that. So that is that. Let's get a little bit more footage and such. I'm not sure what else I could really cover with this. See if it holds, how much pressure it takes. Yeah, I'm just pushing on it. Yeah, in time, it's hard to say how whatever mechanisms in here will hold up. Let's see how this does. So I'm going to loosen this and then crank it. So this is fully loosened, this thing. So if this strips, this is not going to be useful. I mean, it is able to push up the camera. There we go. And then tighten this thing. And put some real weight on it. That's holding. This is, like I said, though, this is plastic. Some sort of plastic. It is holding, though. And we've got our camera way up there. Let's see. Make sure it's focused. Hopefully. There we go. Let me tighten this intersection. Okay, I'm getting some movement here down below in the where the legs connect. I'm going to show that on camera. So that area. Do a focus. So as I shake, you can see this. So I was actually moving at this joint. I mean, something's got to move, right? So, well, anyways, we can go to the other area and just set up a little talking to the camera thing. See how it goes. I'm going to swap to the other lens though. Yeah. I really do think this is something that would make more sense. It's just an indoor type of light use type of tripod. Phones, maybe, I guess outdoor if you're using GoPros and such that are smaller. But that looks like. I just said not to do this, but I'm going to do it. More so in situations where switch the camera here. So there is that. This is what it looks like on there. Very limited on space. But so you can tighten this thing down. Whoops, I just popped it out. And that should hold these. Yeah. Just put that there. Set up some sort of camera thing. And then I could just do it talking to the camera setup. Easier said than done. Yeah. For something like this, I think it makes sense. Obviously, you don't have to use all of the legs at once. So maybe it might be smart to put these back. This one. There we go. And then you can use the center shaft. Again, loosening this thing. And then get whatever height you want. So in that context, that's not bad. Because I can easily... So one benefit of this also, unloosen this where it rotates the camera here, and then take the grip section and put it like this, and then retighten this top portion. Yeah, and that way I can just, that's pretty nice, actually. Just for a little bit of adjustment, if you need fine adjustment, that works. I like that. That's probably the best use case I've seen. I could see using this. Just go like that. Yeah, and it's indoors. You're not throwing it around. Outdoors and in situations where you could easily break something. on there or whatever else. I think this is pretty reasonable. Yeah, and I can even do that. So if I want some fine vertical adjustment, that's nice. Okay, now I'm seeing some actual benefit and use to this. Sorry, my camera's kind of got some issues. I just set that one up for this use case. I do have another camera we could potentially use. Let's see. Sure it's focused. Let's see. Maybe this adjustment. Yeah. So here we've got, again, the grip. That's nice. And then down here, focus on that, maybe. There we go. So down here, depending on the tightness of this, you can still use it while it's tightened, which might not be a good idea long term. This is almost coming off. Is that tight? Yeah. So that's not going to move anymore. I'm not sure how much I can loosen it before it falls down. But overall, if I were to have a use case for this, this would be it. Because having that is very nice. I'm going to tighten this. And then tighten that. Yeah. There we go. Cool. I like it. I could do a quick little recording. Need a memory card. Let's see what we got here. Okay. There we go. And you can adjust things as needed. Make sure this is focused. Yeah. Put it into video mode. Looks like it's working. The microphone's on. Problem is I can't see what's happening with this camera. Put it into 1080p 30 frames a second. There we go. Menu. It's going to format the memory card. There we go. So I could do a big setup with a sort of wireless connection from this camera that I have available, but it would take a little bit of time here. So I could switch to the, what does this look like? Yeah, it's pretty nice though. So what we would need to do, yeah, I don't think I can use that camera. go back to this one. This is fully zoomed out. Sure, it's decently focused. So this is a wireless video transmitter. And I also need this thing. So this would go into here. And this is going to transmit the camera. So I need another adapter thing. Oops. This over here. This one doesn't work right. Let's see. I mean, it works, but it has issues. So we go over here. Put this into the camera. So that's going to adapt to the HDMI connector. And then this thing turns HDMI into USB-C video. So that's a thing. And then I need to power this because that's not enough power. So I need to, hopefully I have a charged battery that will make sense to put there. Okay, this battery's almost dead. Never mind. This one, I don't think this is long enough. Yeah. If I could just put that on top, but sadly no. Need a USB cable. So probably USB-A to USB-C. You could do the camera cable. Oh. I should not have pulled that hard. There we go. So this has a little camera on it. I can go here. And plug this into that. So there's power. That powers this transmitter. Well, I guess that's not ideal, but maybe I could gaffer tape it to the camera. Stay. Yeah. Hopefully I don't need access to whoops. Actually, maybe I don't know, I might need to power both devices. Well, we'll see. Let's tape that. There we go. Then I need to connect this thing to the computer. Wait, is this? Oh no, I need to connect it to. Yeah, so I need a thing to put video into it, to the computer. So one of these. So this will go into this, and then this will go here, and then this will go into the computer. if I can find a port that will work for this. Oops. Hopefully that works. I don't know, I might need to power this receiver. Probably. Let me just switch to here. It's very possible I'll have to power that receiver. I could just do it and then I won't need to troubleshoot it. So in that case, I need to find a USB cable that will be long enough. There we go. Plug that in. Plug this thing in. There we go. Whoops. Okay. And it looks like we have, make sure everything's connected. I mean, I guess I could have just connected the camera to the never mind. Yeah, I could have just directly used the connection. Anyways, instead of doing wireless, I could have just gone HDMI to the thing that puts it into the computer. Let's see if this works, though. I'm curious. I know it's kind of all over the place. Let's go back to this camera. And then we can try to add an additional video capture device. Extra. So it should be getting a signal. So the receiver is working. The transmitter is not working. Maybe it's not enough power. We need to do something special is the question. Click between landscape and portrait. And in a second here, I'll just switch to, oh, did it work? Yes, it did. Okay. Well, there we go. It's got a wireless lag probably. So, and also this camera's HDMI is probably laggy. But it works. Cool. So in this case, I can hit record. Let me just make sure that it's recording. Yeah, it is recording. Nice. And then I can adjust as needed for that, and you can get some fine adjustment with the grip handle. That's nice. There is some wobble extending this shaft, but this out of the way. Yeah, looks good. Pretty cool. And I can mess with this as well. The vertical adjustment. You can see it's slowly going down. Cool. And then still works. Yeah. Let me just make sure this is focused where I want. Getting that down. And then, oh, ouch. Yeah, I was talking about the small grip area. Just crushed one of my fingers. Wasn't too bad. That works so. Huh. Yeah. I think that's a pretty reasonable test. And then this is wireless basically, so I could move this around as I feel like. Or if it's like unstable, I can use this to adjust the angle. There we go. Yeah. Yo. Loosen this. Oh, it's not on camera anymore. Could get this out of the way a little bit. It's not as awkward of a position. Hopefully it doesn't stop working. Just take it off for a moment. It seems to be holding it enough that it's fine. Yeah. There we go. Again, using the grip. Cool. I'm gonna minimize this so it's not showing names and stuff. There we go. So that's pretty much the extent of what I was gonna test here. I think it has some use cases that would make sense. But there are some quirks to its design, mostly in get this at a decent height. So most of the quirks here. Whoops. It's kind of difficult to. No, that's probably better. So the quirks for me is going to be this thing. Again, it uses a screw that just cut the transmitter. Anyways, let's turn that off. Well, it's getting really warm. So the quirks can be this. Let's hide that. This thing. That rotational. It's convenient, but also the screw is small. And I've seen people that bought this and it snapped or it stripped on them. So that's a concern. And then also this shaft design does have its uses, but it's a little inconvenient in ways as well. And this is plastic, so who knows how long that'll hold up for clamping. Might be fine, you never know. But it does work, so that's good. And it provides some unique aspects to the tripod. Another thing is the quick release does not have a lock. So that's a consideration. It is nice that it has a pin here. I'll just do this in a different camera. So it's nice that it has the pin here to kind of more so keep this in its position, but the pin itself, in this specific case with this specific camera, the pin is quite a bit smaller than the hole in the camera, so it still wobbles. So that's kind of defeating the purpose of the pin a little bit, but that could be just normal. That could be just how it's designed. And then, like I said, it doesn't have oops, let me put these chat windows back up. It doesn't have the lock on this, so that's a negative. Another thing that I would be concerned about long term are these feet. These are, I mean, if you could get replacements of these pretty easily, then it's fine. But yeah, so those come off, and they're just a soft material, which is good for surfaces and such. Like if you're going to use it on a wood floor or something, that's good. But if you lose one of these, whoops, like that, that's what is on there. And this doesn't look like it's going to come off. So you can't really have a flat piece or anything. So that's just what you're going to get. And then these go back on like that. So that's what it looks like. Then you've got these things. Not too bad. They do seem a little bit thin, but again, there's no way of me knowing how that's going to hold up over time, good or bad, or in between. Whoops, I can't really say. on that. Obviously these ones are a little bit more robust, but they're also still, they look like they might be the same thickness. Yeah, can't tell exactly. They are convenient, pretty quick to deal with. Smooth, so extending and releasing is pretty smooth, and it'll come down automatically with gravity, obviously. So that's cool. There is a quarter 20 connection right here, so it doesn't include anything to use that with, but you could probably get some sort of hook or something to connect to that for a sandbag or whatever you want to do. Then it has this little O-ring, which seems like you could easily lose this. Pull it off. So that goes over this nub. There's like a ridge on that. And just slide that back on. Otherwise, whoops, if it's not there, then this thing can extend past the point, and then if you were to like smash these and this wasn't on there, I mean, it's possible you could push this off. It's going to go past the point there, and then it's going to basically hit the end point of the joints, I think. Or actually, maybe this ridge is what stops it. Yeah, maybe it's the ridge in there. So this is probably enough to keep that on there and not snap these. Yeah, that's probably the case. Okay. Put that back on. That's just kind of a dampener of sorts from preventing that. Then there's this tightening thing, so that stays there. This also rotates, which I assume is just like to keep these legs tighter or looser. Yeah. What else? I think I showed this already, but that's for the center column. And then here's the tightener for that. If I loosen it enough, I should be able to pull it out manually. It's got the gearing on there. Get it to focus, so there's gearing. This is metal. This thing is plastic. And that's going to tighten and loosen as needed. Should be able to, yeah. So if this does break, you should still be able to open it and close it by pulling on it, as long as this is loose enough. Yeah. So I would have some potential concern of this breaking eventually, because it is a plastic, but it's not like 100% necessary. And then we've got the actual grip head. So this is pretty interesting. It's going to give you adjustment, and then there's this piece, which does rotate. So I can move this to whatever position I want, as long as I'm holding this grip. So this rotates. There we go. So if I want it like this, and then I can go down at that angle, and that's what it looks like on the back end. Yeah, there's a bubble level right here, which is nice. Then there's also one on top where the grip is. So it's nice to have. Now this is one of the potential failure points of this tripod, is that screw in the connection to the rest of the head. It's a non-standard, it's not a quarter 20 thread. screw, which to me was a bad idea for them to use that instead of simply using a 1/4-20 based connection point, because that basically means you're stuck with this thing. Even though you could take it off, you're stuck with that. I did show that earlier, but I could take it off again real quick and we can look at it. Just need the proper tool. See what I did with that. It's over here, I think. Yeah, not sure where it is. I probably have another one in this container. So I'll just look in here. Whoops. Might be, let's try this one. I think that's too small. Yeah. I could also add a different camera, but whatever. This is too small. Oh no, this one's fine. So there's that. You can zoom in here. Help if I went the right direction. Can't see. There we go. Should probably be good. Anyways, this does have some lubricant on it because it rotates. You take this little screw out, and then this top plate comes off. So there's that. And then we've got our hole there. And then that's what that looks like. I had seen 2 reviews on Amazon where this stripped, and that's where the piece broke. So it is a non-standard, photography related. It's not the same as a 1/4-20 threaded connection, which to me is a disappointment because that would have just allowed you to simply, but yeah, this, like I said, this has some lubricant stuff on it, and that's the potential concern for me. It's this little screw and the connection that it goes into. So you don't want to use this with heavy stuff. I think it just makes sense to use it with cell phones, small cameras. I'd mostly use this indoors because the convenience of it is nice. But the downside, obviously, is that. So I can get it to... Let's lock that down. I can put this back on. There we go. Let's see what I did with, okay, it's this one. I'm gonna put this back on. Make sure those are in properly. Lock that down. And then take this thing. Whoops. Come on. That's in here, obviously. I've been touching this screw so much that I probably need to put some lubrication on it. But if you're going to do this, you probably want to figure out, it's probably some sort of silicone based lubricant, I would assume. But yeah, so there's that. And that gives you the rotation, which is convenient, but it's also kind of not necessarily super necessary considering how it's designed. Anyways, there's that. I already took the plate off. The plate itself, this is a plastic. Zoom in here. So you've got your pin. This does, it's spring loaded. So you don't need a camera with that specifically. So this is a quarter 20, whoops. This is a quarter 20 thread. I need to wipe that stuff off my finger. Hold on. Let's see. Anyways. That's a quarter 20. This is, in my opinion, this is what that screw should have been, or even a 3/8 inch, which is thicker than this, because one, the threads of this are bigger, so they should have more ability to not strip, and two, it's standardized to photography equipment, so that's what they should have done, in my opinion. Then on the back, you have this little flap that you can use for tightening. So that's convenient as long as it keeps together. Yeah, there's that. Other than that, I think it has some interesting abilities for mostly simple use. I mean, I could attach a GoPro to this real quick, just for another example of what you could do with it. Let's see. There's a standard GoPro. I could extend the legs a little bit. Here we go. Turn this thing down. And this goes loose mode. It's probably good. Turn that back down. And lock that into place, I guess. Then something small like a GoPro to me makes sense. So take this plate off. You could, if you really wanted to, you could put an additional plate on the top here for something else that you might want, but you're stuck with this as far as I can tell. I don't actually, maybe this comes off. Oh, look at that. So this changes things. Okay. Yeah, so you don't need to use this. That's nice. Okay. Is that? Focus, please, camera. Yeah. So a standard quarter 20 connection point here. That's cool. So you could use this with a different tripod if you wanted. Up to you. That's good. Very nice. So if you only wanted to use the legs, you can. And they measured I think it was 11-pound weight capacity. So there is the connection point for that. Very nice. This looks like, I think this might be a plastic cap. I'm not totally sure, but I think that's a plastic cap around here. Obviously, this is a metal connection point. So again, if you wanted to use a different tripod head, you could do that. That's nice. And then you'll have this functionality here and just a general mix of whatever you get with this. So even my concern here, you know, that's always going to apply to the legs, these things. As long as they stay on, it doesn't matter. Or maybe you can buy replacements, but yeah, I showed this already, but pull this off. Whoops. That's what. Yeah, that's what you get when it's disconnected. Let's see if there's a screw. I'm not sure how these are attached. It might be compression, like a clamp. There's little nubs on the sides here, so I think it, like, they pressed it into there. Not totally sure. So I don't see any screws. Yeah. There might be a screw in the, there's like a hole in there, but I can't tell. It's very small. Anyways, that would be my main concern with this thing. Let's put that back. Oh, how's it going? I see your message, Ethan. Sorry, probably sent that a while ago. What is that? Again, keep in mind that they sent me this tripod at no cost just to take a look at. I didn't get any money in the process, but a tripod out of it. I was curious to see what they would send. They didn't even tell me what they were going to send besides a tripod. So, yeah. Let me leave that extended. Go back to the other view here. So there's that. The camera's focused. And I could put something else on here quickly. Let's see if I have a suitable tripod head. Okay, this one's excessive. That one might be a little too much. I can disconnect this camera. Where is that? And take this tripod head. This one's pretty nice. Oops. Ah, that's fine. So for example, whoops, I'm very limited on space. So this is a different option. So you can use a standard tripod head if you want on these tripod legs. The consideration here is that a lot of tripod heads have a 3/8 inch connection point. So this has an adapter in here to turn it into the 1/4 connector. And then that's going to work with these Sunpak legs because they're the smaller. Generally, I'm not thrilled with the idea of using 1/4 connections as tripod leg connections, but it's better than nothing, right? So There's that. Sure the camera is focused. And then this is going to go here. So instead of, you know, this is very basic, but instead of what comes with it, this thing, the grip connector, which you can use this on any legs now with the, I mean, not any, but any legs that you can use the 1/4-20 instead of the 3/8 only. That would work. So I could just put this other one on here. So there's that. And then this is all metal. So in this case, I would be a little more open to using heavier equipment with this specific tripod head compared to this thing. That's just me, but yeah, so at least you have options with something like this. So I think we're good on that. I don't really need to, well, I guess I could, nah. I don't think we need to show this being used. I'll put this back on. There we go. And then if I wanted to use it with a GoPro or a phone or something, I could do that with the proper mounts. So in this case, this is just a standard 1/4-20 connection point. And then we use their quick release connector. Put that on there. Whoops. There we go. Good enough. So this is the type of thing I would be more open to using this tripod outdoors and such. It's a small enough, lightweight enough thing that I think it would be okay. So again, you still got your grip movement. It's not gonna move around as much like a heavy camera with some weight here on this grip. It's still gonna move, but not, that's not tight enough, but not as much. So you still have here, obviously, as much adjustment as possible. And then this thing for the rotation. So in general, I would personally only use stuff like this on here in any outdoor situation. Indoors, I'd be fine using this because it's in a closed setting. I'm not going to worry about much. So this type of camera is fine on here in those situations. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm good. Anyways, thanks to Sunpak for at least sending this to me to try out. After my overview, I don't know if they'll ever send me anything again, but you know, that's up to them. So it is an interesting option at the very least. I do like that it's different and it provides some unique abilities. The main thing for me that I could see using it for is kind of like this selfie-esque type filming to the camera where I can adjust that directly. I can adjust this directly because it's at arm's length, and I can adjust this directly to get kind of the perfect position of things. So that's actually pretty nice. And that would be my main use case for this, which is probably going to be what I'm going to use it for, or just like some tripod that I'll use at a desk type of thing, where I want some quick and easy adjustments. So, and it does have the bubble level here. So if you do want to, you're above the camera, you want to make sure it's level. You at least have that ability. And then it has one on the legs too. So I think that is good enough to potentially consider something like this in this specific layout. Yeah. All right. Again, that was the Sunpak Ultra 6000 PG tripod with that pistol grip PG and the cranking type of intersection, middle section. Yeah. And that's the things. I guess I could go over the specs real quick again. So 61-inch maximum height, minimum height's 24 inches, and then the folded up length of using it to carry it is going to be 25.5 inches. It's 2.6 pounds with the two pieces. It says load capacity of 11 pounds, but I think that's only the legs. Probably a few pounds for this. The thing is, because I can even move it without just my hand, I can move this with enough force, and it's not even a lot. So I wouldn't say 11 pounds for that. Leg section's obviously 3, it says on here. Yeah, I think that's good. And that was the Sunpak Ultra PG, Sunpak Ultra 6000 PG. They sent this to me to try out. And that's it. I'm going to sign out. Hopefully you enjoyed this little unboxing live stream. It's kind of fun. I do have something else that I'm going to unbox that I picked up personally. Not today though, but at some point. Whoops. Here it is. It's another little camera. So I picked this up at Target. They might be discontinuing these because it was discounted. It's a little camera, a digital camera. Thought this would be fun to try on stream at some point. So I'll do this next, hopefully. But yeah. Anyways, I'm going to sign out. See ya. Peace. I don't have an end screen for this YouTube channel, so maybe I'll just do the normal end screen. See ya.